Hello everyone, welcome back. Christian here of the Calcio Bro. So what that means when I'm back, it means that another weekend of Serie A has passed, and that means we were treated to lots and lots of action, and that is for sure because we did have plenty of goals this weekend and plenty of goals that were just incredible beauties. There was, of course, some moments of controversy. That's pretty much a given in any week of football. Treated again to some spectacular results, and it makes things even more interesting coming at the bottom of the table and especially at the top of the table where teams now are trying to get as many points as they are trying to do to claim their what they want to do, trying to claim their objectives or try to escape the failures of this season. So a lot of things now coming to the nitty gritty. So just be sure to keep watching. Hope you enjoyed this Serie A weekend because I'm sure I did. And I was watching for the games that I did miss. I was definitely when I was watching the some of the highlights / full games. I was just wow at some of the goals that I saw this weekend and some of the incredible chances that some of these teams missed. There was a lot that happened this weekend. So, anyways, enough of me talking about what I saw. Time to describe what had happened this weekend. All right, so we open up on March 6th, the Saturday, with three Serie A matches at 9 a.m. We had Spezia Benevento. Spezia once again fought back to get the draw, so it was a battle here for relegation. Not relegation sides, but teams now who have dropped points, who seem like they could stay up in Serie A, but this point it was good and a bad in some sense, as both teams really needed a win, but I guess both teams can't win, so they're just there to share the points. Once again, Spezia had fought back while Benevento still struggling, looking for a win as they are continuing to be in their little slump. At 12 o'clock, we had a bit of a surprise here, but we had Udinese hosting Sassuolo with now the Nero Verdi falling here at Udine. 2-0 was the result for Luca Gotti's men, and now Sassuolo, I believe they only have one win in their last 9 or 10 games. I remember reading somewhere it was 9, but I don't know if that was pre or post game. So 9 or 10, we'll put it at that. Anyways, but that's now a real struggle for De Zerbi, who were looking exceptionally well at the start of the season. And now for them, it's just probably an objective of finishing in the top 10 right now, because I don't know if they'll be able to get that last Europa League spot if they can aim for it, because they really have to pick up some results soon. For Udinese, was a huge match considering the unlucky draw against Milan midweek. So that was a huge result for them that just keeps them up in the table in a good position in the top half, or not even top half, mid-table. At 2:45, we had one of the big games of the weekend in Juventus Lazio. This was a great game, but the Bianconeri coming from behind, equalizing late in the first half to go on to win 3-1. It was some debate in this game with a couple of calls here. I will touch on that shortly, again, once I finish with the results. Now, moving on to Sunday at 6:30, we had Roma-Genoa. Roma, again, wanted to get a win, and they usually look great against Genoa, so this was a huge win for them and their hopes to try to get into that top four spot. Now going on to the 9 a.m. games, we had 3 games here, and they were actually quite a few of exciting games here. So we had Verona hosting Milan at the Bentegodi. Now, Milan had a bunch of injuries going into this match, and they even learned that morning, too, that Hernandez wasn't even called up, wasn't even on the bench. Tonali wasn't 100% fit. He started off from the bench, but Milan managed to come away thanks to 2 unlikely goal scorers in Rade Krunic with a beautiful free kick and Diogo Dallo with a great finish as well. So Milan's reserves gets the job done there. 9 a.m. Sorry, I already said 9 a.m. The next 9 a.m. game is Fiorentina Parma at the Franchi. This finished 3-3. Now Fiorentina led at half. Parma came back, thought they had won it late on, and Fiorentina managed to equalize thanks to a late own goal from Jacoponi. For sure, not what Parma would have wanted. Fiorentina will take the draw, but Parma once again, the win escapes them, and they have not won now since since November. So they are really struggling to find that win to really boost up their confidence. They scored goals, but they just can't win. Now the last morning game was Crotone hosting Torino, where the home side, bottom last, defeats Torino, who had just come back after also missing their last two games because of an outbreak in the team. They go on to, again, Torino go on to lose. This is also Nicola's first, I believe it's his first loss in charge of the club as well. Crotone gets the huge victory here. They now move even closer to Parma, who tied their match. But there were some great goals in this one. That's Una Sanabria. Oh, if you guys haven't seen them, I definitely say it's worth a check out. Definitely, like I said, it's a great goals this weekend. Now, on to the midday game. Cagliari visiting Sampdoria at the Marassi. This game finished in a 2-2 draw with Nainggolan securing the draw for the visitors in the 96th minute with the last kick of the game. How many have we seen in the last couple of weeks that have just been the last kick of the game and they've secured something? Okay, then we did have the penalty for Spezia against Juve, but Juve were already up 3-0 at the time anyways. But we've had a lot of action at the last kick of the game. This was a huge point for Cagliari, who still remain unbeaten under Semplice. Sam had completed the comeback in the second half, but once again, a wonderful Nainggolan strike secures the draw. Excuse me. Now, at 2:45, we had Napoli hosting Bologna. Napoli coming away with the victory here. A brace from Lorenzo Insigne. Excuse me. A brace from Lorenzo Insigne and a Victor Osimhen goal helps, as he returns from injury, helps secure the victory for Gattuso's men. One note here for Napoli is that they did get Ospina back in goal, but they do lose Gulam for the rest of the season as he did tear his ligaments in his knee. Never a pretty injury for any player. Now, to end off round 26, we had one game on Monday, March 8th at 2:45. It was Atalanta going to the San Siro to battle Inter, and I can't really say the Nerazzurri. Well, I can, but Conte's men came away with the victory here in a very tight affair. Goalkeepers really playing well. Defenders stopping both forwards, but it was a defender who got the strike in Milan Skriniar to secure all 3 points for Conte's men, and they extend their lead now at the top of the table and remain sole leaders. Anyways, those were all the results that happened for round 26. If there was a result you were particularly surprised at, very pleased about, or have any type of questions about any of them, be sure to comment below. Let me know. Now, it's time to talk about a couple of these moments, couple of these games here. So we're going to start off with the Juventus Lazio. And like I said, there were some incidents in that one. Now, like I said, Lazio were up at one point, then before Rabiot equalized before the half. But in this game, there's a couple moments were a little iffy here. Even want to say, like, the first yellow card came in the 80th minute. And I'm surprised the ref really didn't give any early on as well, which was very surprising because there really did seem to be a lot of fouls or basically incidents that deserved yellows in this game. Ronaldo was also starting off the bench as Pirlo did want to rest him a bit for the huge game against Porto in the Champions League. So who else to do the job than Alvaro Morata, who did get a brace this game and helped to secure the 3 points for Lazio. So the one of the huge incidents was right before Juve got the equalizer. It was a break for Juventus, and I think it was Chiesa was on the break. But anyways, I feel it was Chiesa. Um, anyways, he was on the break, and a Lazio player slid in. The ball bounced up and hit Wesley Hoet in the hand, which seemed to be in the box. And it's in some cases it would have been called a penalty. In some cases it wouldn't. But it's it's not like his arm was against the body. And in some instances, you definitely would call it like. Actually, I don't know. It's because you do see some refs call it, but then it gets reversed by VAR. But then it's a bit of a mess, right? But anyways, he slid in, hit his arm. It wasn't against the body, and in most cases you would give the penalty. But perhaps because I know technically they said it's unintentional, but a lot of times the arms just happen to be there because it's where else would you put your arms, right? The guy Wesley Holt's running. You can't run with your hands on your side, so most handballs are unintentional. You don't purposely go and try to whack it half the time. Sometimes it just happens to you don't because I know sometimes if it's very close, you don't have the reactionary time to move your arm, and that's when they don't usually give a penalty because they give you this the chance saying you couldn't move your hand. What are you gonna do? But in that case, it's in a natural position. It's not an unnatural position because he's running. It hits up. He's running, and the ball comes up and hits his hand. So yes, it's unintentional, but could it be just because the way it came up, he didn't expect it, didn't have the time to actually move his hand? Because like I said, most handballs aren't intentional, right? Because who would purposely want to try and handle the ball in the box? Like to me, that's just stupid. But um, I could maybe see, but like you could have given a penalty, but a penalty still could have been harsh in those instances. But there are a lot of cases to be made. I did read about from the one Arbitrale page, but I can't remember what he said now. But anyways, like it was a very tough situation. Again, most referees probably would have given a penalty, while other referees again would have let it play on. What would you have done? Would you have given a penalty? Would you say it's not a penalty? What are your opinions? Be sure to let me know in the comment sections. Because I really, for me, it's a very tough call to say. If you do agree with that or don't agree with it, I really want to hear your thoughts on what you have to say to it. But anyways, with this one too, Juve do push on. They are only 4 points behind Milan and 10 points behind Inter. Again, they also have a game in hand, and with that win against Napoli, they could push 1 point and 7 points. So it's not like they're very far away. But do they still have a chance at the Scudetto? It's very tough to say because yes, they can keep winning, but if Inter keeps winning, then they can't because it also does depend how Milan do as well. Because yes, Milan's ahead of them. And if Milan keep winning too, that does put the pressure on Juve to win as well. So all these things come into factor because they still have to pass Milan in order to even get close to Inter, even though uh, they aren't that far. But at the same time, like I said, Juve have to keep winning, Inter have to keep winning, or Inter basically has to lose 4 games, while Juve have to win like all of theirs in order for Juve to even pass them. And I don't see Inter losing 4 straight games. Okay, maybe over a period of time, but the way they're looking, they could finish the season with the 2 losses. Yes, it could come down to the Derby d'Italia later on the season, but it could also depend on the points difference that's been made beforehand. It depends how Milan is there because everyone's right now. I'm seeing everyone's talking about Inter, Juve, but Milan, yes, the Scudetto isn't technically their objective, but they're still in the race. They're only yes, it's only 6 points, but Milan's a lot closer to Inter than Juve is. I know Juve against all of their game in hand, but they still have to win that. That's the thing. It's like a lot. Where else? I know even me sometimes I say even if they like, I'm talking as if they win it. They still have to play. They still have to win. And Napoli are looking better now. They have 1 loss in their last 5 games. So Yes, same with Juve, but Napoli are starting to get some consistency a bit here, and they seem to be picking up results. But now Napoli also have that tough stretch, but Juve need to win. Well, Napoli need to win too, because if they want to get that top four finish, they need those points just as much as Juve, because a win would really see them jump tied points with Roma. So that's going to be a huge game for both sides. Now, again, we have to wait and see. That match is coming up soon, so we're going to wait and find out who will take it and how it'll affect standings. But all I have to say with the Scudetto race of Juve is that they have to keep winning and hope that Inter and Milan both slip up so they can take advantage and leap up. Because right now, I say it's just between Milan and Inter, and you can include Juve, but it's still until they can like really get the close tied points, the 1 point gap for Milan. They're still a bit of far out because we'll see how that game against Napoli goes. That's all I'm going to say for now, just because it's still a bit of a gap for them. But they do have to keep winning if they do stand a chance. Going back to some of the goals too this weekend, like I said, there was plenty of beauties. We had both Krunic and Dalot's shot. We had Nainggolan's stunning strike as well. We had Sanabria's wonderful strike from distance. Rezza's volley, Unas's solo run that he puts in the far corner. Those are absolute great goals here. We did also have Osimhen's goal. Like, it was a nice breakaway. He took a lovely touch to bring it down. Insigne had some nice goals as well. So we did have a lot of great goals in this match. Touching also on the relegation battle, Locality getting a huge point here because they do escape a loss and puts even more pressure now because Torino did lose. So it seems like Semplice is starting to turn over the team, and it really did seem like Di Francesco was the issue at Cagliari because now they're actually winning, or not winning, but they're actually picking up points. So, and they're actually looking like they're a fighting team, not giving up. So it does put more pressure now, even though Torino have to play 2 games. They're playing against Lazio and Sassuolo. They could maybe get something against Sassuolo since they are in poor form, but it's still going to be a tough ask for Torino, who can be a very inconsistent side. Going on to Roma, who do pick up a very important 3 points. They do like playing against Genoa, undefeated in their last 13 games against them. Huge 3 points for them. Also, sorry, I also want to touch on Crotone too while I was talking about Torino. I'm jumping all over the place. I know I tend to do that a lot, but anyways, Crotone picked up their first win with Cosmi after that disappointing 5-1 defeat last time out against Atalanta. But Cosmi too, I was reading about this and I actually found it a little shocking, but I guess also that's what happens when you coach in Serie B a lot of the times. So this is his first win in Serie A in over 9 years. 9 years. That is incredible. I don't think I've seen a record like that ever, maybe. But still, that's Cosme does tend to come into these lower end teams, but he has recently coached a lot in Serie B as well, so I could see why it's been 9 years. But jeez, 9 years for your last Serie A win as coach. My God. So let's see how he can change Crotone's fortunes going forward. Yes, the first game was tough against Atalanta, but this was a huge match against Torino, especially in the relegation battle now. So with these results too, actually, sorry, before I even jump to that, I keep jumping. I gotta stop learning how to do that. If there's any incidents that you did that you wanted me to talk about, be sure to comment down below. If you, again, share your opinions on some of the incidents that happened. I guess speaking of that Wesley Howitt handball, if there's any other incidents I did miss, I'll be happy to hear your thoughts about it. So be sure to let me know down in the comment section. What did you guys think of these results? I'll be glad to hear any one of your thoughts for these matchups in round 26. Now, going on to the standings. Crotone, with their win, they go 1 point behind Parma. I guess Crotone is still last, but they are still now 1 point behind Parma. They may not finish last. Depends if Parma can actually find a win. Uh, Parma sitting at 6, so Crotone at 15, Parma at 16. At least Parma's managed to score now, but they need to find results. Torino sit as that third team in relegation zone with 20 points, but again, they have 2 games in hand, but they are 2 points back of Cagliari. So one win out of those 2 games could help bring them back out of relegation zone. So that would be a huge, huge ask for them. So they really need to hope that they can get something out of those 2 matches. So Cagliari sitting outside at 22. Now Spezia, Benevento, and Fiorentina all sitting at 26 points. So Torino, with 2 wins, could go tie level points with them and even put more pressure, because with Cagliari sitting at 22, that's only a 4-point gap between all those 5 teams. So that's huge for that third spot. So we may not even know who could get relegated for sure. Well, kind of. I feel maybe Crotone and Parma are going to probably be the first 2 relegated, but those third team, damn, like it's going to be very close until the end. Genoa sitting at 27, but I think they can manage, but it depends again on how Torino do in those 2 games, because then it's still going to be a 5-point difference between Genoa and Cagliari right now. So very tough to say who's going to be that third team. But again, 1 win for Torino, that puts them out of the relegation zone. We move on up. Sassuolo have been slacking as late, so they're drifting away from that 7th spot. Verona at 38 points, 2 points ahead of Sassuolo, are also 5 points back of Lazio, who have 43. So all those teams did lose Sassuolo, Verona, Lazio, so they don't really get anything. But Lazio, with that loss, are farther away now from Napoli, who move up to 47 points, sitting in that 6th spot right now. Atalanta occupying the 5th spot with 49. Roma are in 4th spot because of their when they moved up. They have 50 points right now, holding that 4th spot, which a lot of people are going to be challenging for. Juve, with their game in hand, sit at 52 points. So again, a win, even with Napoli, a win for Napoli. If they do beat Juve, they move on to tied points with Roma, and I think Napoli would go on ahead because of the goal differential until Napoli and Roma do play. But anyways, that's going to be a very interesting affair. I'll even talk about Napoli's few games coming up, because that's going to be really crucial for their season. So like I said, Juve sitting at 3rd spot with 52 points, 4 points behind Milan with 1 game in hand. So Milan are sitting in 2nd at 56 with their huge win against Verona. And Inter are at 62 points, 6 points ahead, and have a good cushion with their lead against their city rivals. What are your thoughts on the standings? Again, do you think Inter can hold on to win this the Serie A title? Do you think Milan can come up? Do you guys still consider Juve part of the title race? Or are they out of it and not going to catch up to Inter? Be sure to let me know. Also, who do you guys think will be relegated? Do you think Parma and Crotone are the for sure teams getting relegated? Or do you think someone else will take one of their spots? Who do you think will be that third team who will stay in the relegation zone? I know it's a very tight affair down there, so be sure to comment below and let me know. We will move on to the matches for round 27. So we have 2 games on Friday, March 12th. One is at 9 a.m., so that's a little bit earlier than usual, I guess, to give Lazio extra preparation for their match against Bayern Munich next week. They host last place Crotone, so this would be a huge game for Lazio to get the win and build up their confidence and keep going forward, because they need wins. That top 4 could be very difficult, as they have dropped a lot of points this season. So right now they probably do have to focus on staying in the top half and perhaps finishing in one of the top and the higher Europa League spots. But they're only 7 points back of Roma. It's still going to be a tough ask, especially with Atalanta, Napoli in the mix as well. So at best, maybe the Europa League spot could suffice for Lazio, but they need to pick up wins so they don't have to go through the qualifiers as well. While Crotone will take the game to Lazio, building off their win against Torino and hope to give Simone Inzaghi's men some issues. 2:45 on the Friday is Atalanta Spezia. So once again, Atalanta giving extra day to prepare for their Champions League affair against Real Madrid. So they host Spezia. Now Spezia again are never an easy side to play against. I think the last time around two, Spezia did hold Atalanta to a draw. So they will hope to do the same at the Gewa Stadium. It would be important for their fixtures, and yes, it was a draw. Just have brought it up here anyways. Atalanta, if they can get a win against Spezia, it would be crucial for them to keep pressure on to Roma and Juve, because again, they would go tie points with Juve and just ahead of Roma. Well, Spezia want to try to get farther away from the rest of the teams battling relegation so they can clear off for safety, because I know it's going to be a difficult ask, but they need to pick up points, and holding Atalanta for another draw wouldn't be the worst result, but it'll be a huge one, especially against another top side in Serie A. Moving on to the Saturday, March 13th, with another 3 matches there. At 9 a.m., we have Sassuolo Verona, so that's a huge one here between two teams that are only separated by 2 points. If Sassuolo can win, they will go ahead of Verona, while if Verona win, they will distance themselves away from Sassuolo, go 5 points clear, and move just a bit closer to Lazio for that 7th spot. I know these teams are happy where they are, but if they can get the slightest chance of qualifying for Europe, they will take it and they will fight. Sassuolo, once again, too, are 1 win in their last 9 or 10 games, for last time I checked. So they will try to get the best result they can and try to get back into the good form that we saw early on in the season, while Verona will probably do better with a bit of time of rest. Will be able to handle themselves maybe a little bit better in this match than they did against Milan. 12 o'clock, Benevento-Fiorentina. So another game where two sides level on points, where win here is crucial, trying to pull away from the relegation zone. Because as we said earlier, if Torino can win one of their games, at least it makes everything much closer. Again, they're only 4 points ahead of Cagliari at 22, who have 22 points. So it's a very tight affair at the bottom of the table. Not much to really separate these sides. So again, they're going to be fighting both for a win, and it's unfortunately not both teams can win. And I don't know if a draw will do them any good, but one team will have to try to outmatch the other and try to steal away the victory. 2:45, we have Genoa Udinese. Udinese are looking good now, undefeated in their last 4 games, and hope to carry out their momentum against the Genoa side, who have looked much better with Ballardini, but unfortunately have not won in their last 5 games now. So they are starting to drop some points, and Udinese will probably want to take advantage of that, as they have looked a really good side as of late and try to really trouble Ballardini's men, while Ballardini wants to get a victory to shake off the bad form recently and just keep pulling away, and let the other teams under them fight for relegation. Excuse me once again. Now, as we move on to Sunday, right now there's a time, if you're in Canada here, there is a time change, so the games will be an hour forward before they change in Italy. So at 7:30, March 14th, we have Bologna Sampdoria. Oh my god, excuse me. Two teams close to the middle of the table, so this is going to be a good affair here. Ranieri will look to bounce back after letting that lead slip away in the dying minutes of last game, while Bologna have looked good in their last home game against Lazio. It didn't look too bad against Napoli, but would want to perhaps try to get another home win against Sampdoria. At 10 a.m., we have Parma hosting Roma. Now, Parma didn't look bad against Inter, almost got the win against Fiorentina, and will hope to give Roma a challenge here. We'll try. They have the confidence, kinda, but they hope to carry out some type and shock Roma and maybe put a dent in their season, while Roma will try to look to capitalize on Parma's recent struggles and try to get the victory in order to put the pressure on Juve, who do play after them, as well as Milan Milan, and even Atalanta, Napoli, as they are just under them. So it's a very close if Roma can seal the victory. The other 10 a.m. game, there's only two of them. I don't know if I said three, I apologize because I'm so used to saying three. But anyways, the second and last 10 a.m. game is Torino Inter. Torino were disappointed in their last game against Crotone, and will hope to turn things around. They would hope to have more players back now for who have cleared quarantine, but we will see come Sunday. Well, Inter have now 5 straight victories, maybe 6, but at least 5. We'll look to capitalize on Torino's struggles and extend the lead to 9 points before Milan are able to play their match and put even the pressure on Milan and Juve for that Scudetto race. We do have at 1 p.m. Cagliari Juventus. Now Cagliari again have looked good. They have looked better under Semplice, and will hope to bring the game. Well, they were playing at the Sardinia Arena anyways. But we'll hope to give Juventus a huge issue and maybe cause some problems for Juventus. Cagliari have caused problems for Juventus in the past, but let's see if they can do the same here. And perhaps put a dent in their season, maybe even cost them cost them in the Scudetto race. It's all to play for, and it'll be interesting to see what Semplice can do against this Juve side, who have looked really good of late. Now, to end off round 27, we have one of the big games of the weekend at 3:45, Milan-Napoli. So now this will be a huge result for both sides, because for Milan, they want to continue maintaining keeping close to their city rivals, while also trying to keep away from Juventus, try to keep the gap and not have them so close, try to pick up as many points as possible, while Napoli need this win to help push themselves for the top 4 finish. And now Napoli's next 2 games are away to Milan, away to Juve, and away to Roma. So 3 away matches coming up, huge for Napoli. So they really need to they're really going to try to get 9 for 9, but it'll be a very difficult task, because this could really shape their season. Because if they can win against Milan and Juventus, then they could pass Juventus and jump all the way into 3rd spot. But again, it depends on how the other results go this weekend too. It depends also if Juve wins as well, but it would be a huge job for Napoli to do, and it depends how consistent they can be in those 3 games too. Milan will hope to have most of their players back from injury if they can, but I know Milan also have the Europa League game against Manchester United, so that's a huge game 2 days before. So there is lots to play for in that as well. So it depends how fit Milan is, but they did well with their reserves against Verona, and they could probably do an excellent job against the Napoli side, again, who can look very inconsistent, but are starting to pick it up in their last couple games and could cause the Rossoneri some issues. And Gattuso also returning to the San Siro as well. Unfortunately, there are no fans, but he will hope to cause his former side some issues. So those are all the matches that are coming up for round 27 in Serie A. If you have any insights or thoughts about these upcoming fixtures, be sure to send me them down in the comment section down below. I really want to hear what you guys have to say about Serie A and coming up for these fixtures. So that is all for today. So if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Calcio content. Click the bell to receive notifications on when we release our latest videos. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros, for matchday updates, any information, and team news regarding Serie A, and again, just any of our thoughts that we tend to post out about Serie A. So I will hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao.